The email arrived on a Tuesday morning while I was reviewing quarterly reports for my consulting firm. Subject line: Tyler's graduation ceremony. Guest list final. I clicked it open, expecting confirmation details, maybe a reminder about the time or parking information. Instead, I got a message from my ex-wife Lauren that made my coffee taste like ash. David, I know this is going to be difficult, but Tyler and I have decided it would be best if you didn't attend the graduation ceremony. There are limited seats, and with my family coming in from Boston and Tyler's girlfriend's parents wanting to be there, we just don't have room. I'm sure you understand. We can celebrate with you separately afterwards. I read it 3 times. Each time the words stayed the same, but their meaning kept shifting in my head. Limited seats, my son's college graduation, the ceremony I'd been funding for 4 years, and I wasn't invited. My name is David Hartley. I'm 52 years old, and I've spent the last 15 years as a management consultant, helping companies streamline their operations and maximize efficiency. I'm good at solving problems, seeing patterns, making logical decisions. But nothing in my professional training prepared me for the email that just told me I wasn't welcome at my own son's college graduation. Tyler is my only child. When Lauren and I divorced 8 years ago, we agreed on joint custody, though he spent most of his time with her in the house I'd paid off before the divorce. The split was supposed to be amicable. No screaming matches, no fighting over belongings, just 2 people who'd grown apart and decided to move forward separately. Lauren got the house, I got an apartment downtown, and we agreed to co-parent Tyler through high school and beyond. I thought we'd done a decent job. Tyler and I had dinner every other Wednesday, spent alternate weekends together when his schedule allowed, and I never missed his important events. Or at least, I never missed them, until now. I picked up my phone and called Tyler directly. It rang 4 times before going to voicemail. I tried again, same result. On the 3rd attempt, he answered. "Dad, I'm in class," Tyler said, his voice hushed and irritated. "Tyler, I just got your mother's email about graduation. What's going on?" Silence. Then I heard shuffling, a door closing, footsteps on what sounded like concrete. "Dad, look, I don't want to make this a big thing." Not attending my son's college graduation is a big thing, Tyler. It's just one ceremony, okay? Mom's family is coming and Ashley's parents really want to be there, and the auditorium only holds so many people. We have to prioritize. The word prioritize hit me like a slap. And I didn't make the priority list? Dad, you're making this harder than it needs to be. It's just a ceremony. We can celebrate together next weekend or whenever. Mom said she'd set something up. Your mother said you decided this together, is that true? Another pause. Longer this time. Yeah, we talked about it. Look, I really need to get back to class. We'll talk later, okay? He hung up before I could respond. I sat in my office, staring at my computer screen where the email was still open. Limited seats. Prioritize. It's just a ceremony. The words kept echoing in my head, each one cutting deeper than the last. 4 years of tuition payments. $47,000 per year for a private university education. That's $188,000, not counting room and board, textbooks, the laptop I bought him freshman year, or the car I co-signed for when he wanted independence. And apparently that investment didn't earn me a seat at his graduation. I pulled up my banking records, looking at the steady stream of payments I'd made over the past 4 years. Every semester, like clockwork, $23,500 transferred from my account to the university. Lauren hadn't contributed a dime. She'd remarried 3 years ago to a guy named Brandon who managed a car dealership, and apparently her new combined income was comfortable enough that she didn't feel the need to help with Tyler's education. That had been fine with me. I wanted to give my son the best education possible, wanted him to graduate without the burden of student loans crushing his future. But now, sitting in my office with that email burning a hole in my screen, I wondered if I'd been funding my own irrelevance. If you're finding this story powerful, please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. Have you ever felt excluded from an important family moment? Your like helps more people discover these stories. Now, let's continue. The rest of that day passed in a blur. I went through the motions at work, attending meetings and reviewing reports, but my mind kept drifting back to that email. By evening, I'd made a decision. I called my assistant Jennifer, who'd been with me for 6 years and knew my family situation better than most. Jennifer, I need you to book me a trip, somewhere far away, somewhere I won't be tempted to show up uninvited to my son's graduation. David, are you okay? Her concern was genuine, and I appreciated it. Not really, but I will be. I need to be gone the entire graduation weekend, somewhere with no cell service if possible. 3 days later, I had a reservation at a remote fishing lodge in Alaska. 5 days, 4 nights, complete disconnection from the modern world. The lodge advertised itself as a digital detox destination, with no Wi-Fi, spotty cell service, and nothing but mountains, rivers, and silence. I didn't tell Tyler or Lauren about my plans. When Tyler texted me 2 days before graduation asking if we could maybe grab lunch the day after, I simply replied that I wouldn't be available that weekend. He didn't ask why. The morning I flew to Alaska, Tyler's graduation was 3 days away. I boarded the plane with a duffel bag full of fishing gear I'd bought, specifically for this trip, having never been particularly interested in fishing before. But the lodge required guests to participate in at least one outdoor activity, and fishing seemed like the kind of mindless task that might keep me from thinking about what I was missing. The lodge was exactly as advertised: rustic cabins, spectacular views, and absolute silence except for the wind through the pine trees and the rushing water of the nearby river. My cabin had a wood-burning stove, a comfortable bed, and a small porch overlooking the water. No television, no internet, no connection to the world I'd left behind. The first night, I sat on that porch with a glass of whiskey and let myself feel everything I'd been holding back since that email arrived. Anger at being excluded, hurt that my son had gone along with it, confusion about how I'd become expendable in my own child's life. But mostly, I felt a strange sense of relief. For the first time in 15 years, I wasn't waiting for the other shoe to drop, wasn't trying to maintain appearances or navigate the complicated relationship between divorced parents. I was just David Hartley, sitting alone in Alaska, with no one expecting anything from me. The graduation ceremony happened on Saturday afternoon. I knew this because I'd memorized the details before leaving: 2 p.m. Riverside Auditorium, with a reception to follow in the campus quad. While Tyler walked across that stage to receive his diploma, I was standing waist-deep in a freezing river, learning how to cast a fly fishing line from a guide named Marcus, who spoke maybe 50 words the entire day. I thought about Tyler constantly, wondered if he noticed my absence, if anyone asked about me, if Lauren had prepared some story about why I wasn't there. But I didn't check my phone. The lodge had a satellite phone for emergencies, but my cell phone stayed powered off in my duffel bag. It wasn't until Sunday evening, my 4th day at the lodge, that curiosity got the better of me. I powered on my phone, expecting maybe a few messages. What I got instead made my hands start shaking. 125 missed calls, 89 text messages, 34 voicemails. The calls started Saturday afternoon, right around the time the graduation ceremony would have ended. First from Tyler, then Lauren, then numbers I didn't recognize. By Sunday morning, the calls were coming every 15 minutes. I scrolled through the text messages, my heart pounding. Tyler: Dad, where are you? We need to talk. Tyler: Seriously, call me back. This is important. Lauren: David, I need you to call me immediately. This is about Tyler. Tyler: Dad, something happened. Please call me back. Tyler: Are you ignoring me? This is serious. Lauren: David, wherever you are, you need to come home right now. There's been a situation. The texts got increasingly frantic as the weekend progressed. By Sunday afternoon, Tyler was sending messages every hour. Tyler: Dad, I'm really freaking out. Here, where are you? Tyler: I need your help. Please don't ignore me. Tyler: Dad, I made a huge mistake. Please call me. I stared at my phone, torn between immediate concern and a darker satisfaction that now, suddenly, I was needed. I checked the voicemails. Tyler's voice in the first one was shaky, uncertain. Dad, hey, it's me. Listen, something happened at graduation and I really need to talk to you. Can you call me back as soon as you get this? The second voicemail was Lauren, her voice tight with stress. David, I don't know where you are or why you're not answering, but Tyler needs to speak with you. This is important. Please call back. By the 10th voicemail, Tyler was crying. Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about everything. I need you. Please, please call me back. I don't know what to do. I sat on my cabin porch as the sun set over the Alaskan mountains and made a decision. Whatever crisis Tyler was facing, he'd have to figure it out himself. The same way, he'd figured out that I wasn't a priority for his graduation. I powered off my phone and went inside to make dinner. The next morning, my last full day at the lodge, I went on a solo hiking trip through the mountains. The guide gave me a map, a compass, and instructions to stay on the marked trails. I spent 6 hours walking through wilderness so remote that my footprints were the only human marks for miles. It gave me time to think. About Tyler, about Lauren, about the choices I'd made as a father and ex-husband. I'd tried to do everything right after the divorce, maintained regular contact, never badmouthed Lauren to Tyler, paid for everything without complaint, showed up for every event I was invited to. But somewhere along the way, my presence had become optional, a convenience rather than a necessity. And that realization, painful as it was, clarified something I'd been avoiding for years. I'd been trying to earn my son's love through financial support and perfect behavior. I'd been so afraid of being the bad guy, the absent father, the divorce casualty, that I'd let myself become invisible. When I returned from my hike, the lodge manager mentioned that the satellite phone had rung several times, all calls from the same number. I didn't ask who it was. I already knew. Tuesday morning, my departure day, I finally powered on my phone for the flight home. The messages had continued through Monday. Tyler: Dad, I'm begging you, please call me. Lauren: David, this is beyond inappropriate. Your son needs you and you're ignoring him. What kind of father does that? Tyler: I lost everything. Please, I need your help. A new number, accompanied by a message that made my blood run cold. Unknown: Mr. Hartley, this is Detective Morrison with the campus police. We need to speak with you regarding your son Tyler Hartley. Please contact us at your earliest convenience. I sat in the lodge's main cabin, staring at that message. Campus police. My mind raced. Through possibilities, each one worse than the last. Had Tyler been arrested? Hurt? Was he in jail? The satellite phone was available for emergencies. This qualified. I dialed Tyler's number. He answered on the first ring. Dad? Dad, oh my God, where have you been? Tyler, what happened? I got a message from campus police. I'm so sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. He was crying openly now. Everything's gone. Everything. What's gone? Tyler, calm down and tell me what happened. The money, Dad. All of it. The graduation money, the gifts, everything. It's all gone. My confusion must have been apparent in my silence because Tyler continued, his words tumbling over each other. Everyone gave me graduation gifts. Cash, checks, gift cards. Grandma and Grandpa sent $5,000. Mom's cousins, Uncle Rick, Ashley's parents. Everyone. It was supposed to be my start, you know? For after graduation. For life. What happened to it, Tyler? I got robbed. Well, not robbed exactly. Scammed. This guy, he was at the graduation reception, said he was a financial advisor, said he could invest my graduation money and double it within 6 months. He seemed so legitimate, Dad. He had business cards, references, everything. And I was so excited about the money, about finally having something of my own, that I gave him everything. I closed my eyes, already seeing where this was going. How much, Tyler? $23,000. Every penny anyone gave me for graduation. He took it all and disappeared. The business cards were fake, the references were fake, everything was fake. The police said it's a common scam at graduations. They target kids who just got cash gifts. And why exactly do you need me? The question came out harsher than I intended, but I was tired of being the solution to problems I wasn't included in creating. Because I don't know what to do, Dad. I was supposed to use that money for first and last month's rent on an apartment in Chicago. I have a job starting in 3 weeks, but now I have nothing. Mom said she can't help because her and Brandon just bought a new car. Ashley's parents are furious because they gave me $2,000 and now it's gone. I'm completely screwed. What about the money from your graduation party? The reception Lauren organized? That's where most of it came from. The reception, the party at Mom's house afterwards. Everyone was so generous, and I just threw it all away because I was stupid and greedy and wanted to impress Ashley by telling her I was going to double my graduation money. I took a deep breath, processing everything. My son had been scammed out of $23,000 in graduation gifts given at events I wasn't invited to, by people celebrating a milestone I wasn't allowed to witness. Tyler, I'm sorry this happened to you, but I'm not sure why you're calling me. Because you're my dad. His voice cracked. Because I need help and you're the only one who can help me. Mom already said no, and I don't have anyone else. Let me get this straight. You and your mother decided I wasn't important enough to attend your graduation. You prioritized everyone else over me, made me feel like an ATM who'd served his purpose. And now that you're in trouble, suddenly I'm dad again? Suddenly I'm the one you need? Dad, please. I know I screwed up about graduation. I know that was wrong. But this is different. This is my whole future. No, Tyler. Your future was my concern when I was paying for your education. Your future was my concern when I was showing up to every event, making time for every dinner, trying to be part of your life. But you made it very clear at graduation that I'm not part of your life. So your future is your problem now. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. You wanted to prioritize other people over me? Great. Call them for help. Call your mother's family who got to sit in seats that should have been mine. Call Ashley's parents who were more important than I was. Call anyone else who was more deserving of being at your graduation. Dad, please don't do this. I made a mistake. Yes, you did. Several mistakes. And now you get to live with the consequences. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I felt clear-headed for the first time in weeks. The phone rang again immediately. I declined the call. It rang again. Declined. On the third attempt, I turned off my phone completely. The flight home was peaceful. I spent it reading a book I'd bought at the lodge's tiny gift shop. Some thriller about a man who disappeared into the wilderness to escape his life. The irony wasn't lost on me. When I landed in Chicago Tuesday evening, I powered on my phone to order a rideshare. The messages had continued. Lauren. David, I understand you're hurt, but abandoning your son right now is cruel. He needs you. Tyler. I can't believe you're doing this to me. Lauren. Whatever issues we have as ex-spouses, don't take them out on Tyler. Be the bigger person. Tyler. Fine. You want me to say I was wrong about graduation? I was wrong. You should have been invited. Now will you help me? I scrolled through them dispassionately, deleted them without responding, and ordered my ride home. My apartment felt different when I walked in. Cleaner somehow, like I'd cleared out invisible clutter just by leaving for a few days. I unpacked my duffel bag, put away the fishing gear I'd probably never use again, and made myself dinner. Around 9 p.m. there was a knock on my door. I looked through the peephole and saw Tyler standing in the hallway. His eyes were red, his graduation gift money clearly hadn't included a haircut recently, and he looked absolutely miserable. I opened the door but didn't invite him in. How did you know I was home? I asked. I've been checking every few hours since your flight landed. I tracked it online. That's mildly disturbing. Dad, please, can we talk? I stepped aside and let him in. Tyler walked into my apartment and stood awkwardly in the living room, like he wasn't sure if he was allowed to sit. Say what you came to say, I told him. I was wrong about graduation. I was selfish, and I hurt you, and I'm sorry. Are you sorry because you hurt me, or because you need something from me now? Tyler flinched. Both, I guess. I don't know. I'm messed up right now, Dad. Everything's falling apart, and I don't know how to fix it. Welcome to adulthood, Tyler. Sometimes things fall apart, and you have to figure out how to fix them yourself. So you're really not going to help me? I walked to my kitchen and poured myself a glass of water. Tyler followed me, his presence filling my small space with tension. Let me tell you what's going to happen, I said. You're going to figure this out on your own. You're going to call that job in Chicago and explain the situation. Maybe they'll help you with relocation costs. Maybe they won't. You're going to find a roommate situation, where you can pay month to month until you build up some savings. You're going to learn to budget, to live within your means, and to understand that actions have consequences. But I don't have anything, Dad. I'm starting from zero. No, Tyler, you're starting from the same place most college graduates start from. The only difference is you expected to start from somewhere better because you got lucky with generous family and friends. But that luck ran out because you made a poor decision. Now you get to learn from it. This is because of graduation, isn't it? You're punishing me for graduation. I set down my water glass and looked at my son. Really looked at him. He was 22 years old, freshly graduated with a degree in business administration, about to start a job at a consulting firm in Chicago. He had every opportunity in the world ahead of him. This isn't punishment, Tyler. This is me finally understanding my role in your life. For years, I thought if I just paid for things, if I just showed up when allowed, if I just stayed supportive and present, that would be enough. But you've made it clear that my role is ATM, not father, and I'm done with that role. That's not true. You're my dad. You're more than just money. Then why wasn't I at your graduation? If I'm more than money, why wasn't I important enough to be there? Tyler's face crumpled. Because Mom said there wasn't room and I didn't want to cause problems. I thought you'd understand. I did understand, Tyler. I understood perfectly. I understood that when it mattered, when there was a choice to be made about who was important, I didn't make the cut. And that's fine. But you don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to exclude me from your life and then pull me back in when you need financial rescue. So, what now? You're just done being my father? No, I'm done being your ATM. If you want a relationship with me, if you want me to be your father in any meaningful way, that's going to require effort from you. Real effort. Not just phone calls when you're in trouble. Not just dinners every other Wednesday because it's scheduled. Actual investment in our relationship. Tyler stood there, processing. I could see the moment he realized I was serious. That this wasn't a negotiation or a guilt trip designed to get an apology. This was a boundary being set. I don't know how to fix this, he said quietly. Neither do I. But I know it doesn't start with me writing a check. Tyler left 20 minutes later without the answer he'd come for. I watched him walk to his car from my window, saw him sit in the driver's seat for a long time before finally starting the engine and leaving. The next few weeks were quiet. Tyler didn't call. Lauren sent a few more angry messages that I didn't respond to. Life continued. I picked up a new client, threw myself into work, and started going to the gym regularly. The fishing gear from Alaska sat in my closet as a reminder that sometimes the best solution to an impossible problem is to remove yourself from it entirely. 6 weeks after graduation, I got a text from Tyler. It was short, simple, and unexpected. Dad, I found a roommate situation in Chicago. 3 other guys from college. The apartment isn't great, but rent is manageable. I start my job Monday. I wanted you to know. I stared at that message for a long time before responding. Proud of you for figuring it out. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, another message. Can we have dinner sometime? No agenda, no asking for anything, just dinner. I'd like that. We met the following Wednesday at a diner halfway between his new apartment and my place. Tyler looked different, thinner, more tired, but also more solid somehow, like he'd been tested and survived. The job's good, he said after we ordered. Stressful, but good. I'm learning a lot. That's great, Tyler. The apartment's terrible. 1 bathroom for 4 guys, and I think something died in the walls because there's a smell we can't identify, but we're making it work. Character building, I said with a slight smile. Is that what we're calling it? He smiled back, and for the first time in months, it felt genuine. We talked for 2 hours, about his job, about his roommates, about Ashley who'd broken up with him 2 weeks after graduation when she realized the scammed money meant no romantic getaways or expensive dates, about his plans for the future and his growing understanding that adult life wasn't what he'd expected. I was really angry at you, Tyler said as we were finishing dessert. For weeks I was furious that you wouldn't help me. Mom kept saying you were being vindictive and petty. And now? Now I think I understand. I treated you like you were disposable, like you only mattered when I needed something, and you called me on it. I'm not trying to teach you a lesson, Tyler. I'm not trying to punish you. I just finally realized that I can't force you to value me. Either you do or you don't. I do value you, Dad. It took losing everything to realize it, but I do. We split the check. Tyler insisted on paying his half, even though I could see him calculating the cost in his head. This was progress. As we walked to our cars, Tyler stopped. "Dad, I'm sorry about graduation. Really sorry. Not because of what happened after, but because you should have been there. You earned that seat more than anyone. Thank you for saying that. Can I ask you something? Where were you that weekend? You never said." "Alaska, fishing lodge, completely off the grid." Tyler laughed, actually laughed. "You went to Alaska?" "I did. Learned how to fly fish, hiked through the mountains, and spent 4 days not thinking about graduation." "That's actually kind of badass, Dad." We stood there in the diner parking lot, and for the first time since that email about limited seating, I felt like I was talking to my son. Not a stranger who needed money, not someone obligated to maintain contact, but my actual son. "Tyler, I need you to understand something. I'm proud of you for graduating. I'm proud of you for handling this crisis on your own. And I'm proud of you for reaching out tonight. But our relationship going forward is going to be different." "Different how?" "More honest, more mutual, less about me trying to earn your love, and more about us actually building something real." Tyler nodded slowly. "I think I can do that." "Good, because I'm done being the guy who pays for everything but doesn't get invited to the important moments." "Deal." We shook hands, and Tyler pulled me into an unexpected hug. "Thanks, Dad, for not giving up on me even when I deserved it." "I didn't give up on you, Tyler. I gave up on being taken for granted. There's a difference." 3 months later, Tyler called me from work, excited about a promotion opportunity. We talked for 30 minutes about his career prospects, and not once did he ask me for anything except advice. 2 months after that, he invited me to dinner at his apartment. The place was as terrible as he'd described, but watching him navigate life with 3 roommates, managing his budget, and building his independence made me realize that the best thing I'd ever done for him was let him figure it out himself. And 6 months after graduation, on a random Tuesday, I got a package in the mail. Inside was a framed photo of Tyler in his graduation cap and gown, signed on the back. "To Dad, who was always there even when I couldn't see it. I'm sorry for graduation. Love, Tyler." I hung it on my wall, right next to the photo of the 2 of us from his high school graduation, the one I'd actually been invited to. Looking at those 2 photos, I realized something important. Sometimes being a good father means teaching your kids that they can't take you for granted. Sometimes love means setting boundaries. And sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is let them fall, knowing they'll be stronger when they get back up. My phone buzzed. Tyler asking if I was free for dinner next week. No agenda, just dinner. I smiled and typed back, "Absolutely." Because that's what real relationships look like. Not transactions, not obligations, not ATM visits disguised as family time. Just 2 people choosing to spend time together because they actually want to. And that, I'd finally learned, was worth more than any graduation ceremony.